let me have the pleasure in introducing Mr. Vipan. Mr. Vipan is a postgraduate in international business from IDRAC Business School, France, with corporate work experience of 10 years plus. His focus area is business compliance, environment-related services. He is the founder and CEO of CorpSeed ITES Private Limited, founder and CEO of Pre-Cult ITES Private Limited, and he is working for the world's first artificial intelligence integrated compliance model and provides mentorship to entrepreneurs. Mr. Ashish is a senior consultant with over 7 years of experience in the field of compliances and helped many entrepreneurs and MSMEs to initiate their startups. His core areas of verticals include waste management, environment impact assessment, extended producer responsibilities under e-waste and plastic waste, product compliances, groundwater clearances, and many other industrial setup compliances. Over to Mr. Vipan.
Mr. Vipan. Thank you so much, V. Krishnamurthy. It is pleasure for us to be a part of this meeting, and I would like to introduce myself. My name is Vipan Thakur, as Krishnamurthy ji has already said that we are a consulting organization in India. We help all the waste management entrepreneurs to set up their waste facilities. So we come up with day in and day out to in discussion with PROs, dismantlers, recyclers, and any any sort of waste management entrepreneurs. So we cater every single kind of waste industry that starts with e-waste, plastic, biomedical, then battery, solid waste management, municipal solid waste, construction and demolishing. So our main focus is into developing an entrepreneurial culture in India for waste management. And we actually work on a very aggressive mode to develop these entrepreneurs, because if we don't have those entrepreneurs in India, it would be very difficult for us to manage the waste. So the biggest challenge that, as I said, we come and day in day out, we have multiple multiple entrepreneurs who want to start with recycling facilities. So we come it's been 5 years that we are closely working with those entrepreneurs who want to set up their facilities. So as this session is all about what are the challenges entrepreneurs are facing in this particular area, waste management area. So I would say there are multiple challenges which are being faced by entrepreneurs who want to set up in this particular area. The first one is the land area, which is kind of a basic parameter for this industry to set up. That is if one can start with the waste management industry, whether it's plastic or e-waste. So particularly into e-waste, which we talk about. So in e-waste, one has to go ahead with the industrial land, which is a kind of a bit difficult for entrepreneurs to acquire, because it is a cost involved. There is a cost involved in it, and acquiring land or might be renting land is not a easy task for entrepreneurs, especially into waste management. The second difficulty which entrepreneurs are facing in India are getting those all regulatory compliances done from the departmental perspective. So there isn't any single compliance which are required to set up a facility in India. There are multiple compliances which are near about 17 compliances to become a completely compliant recycling facility or dismantling facility. It's the biggest challenge for them to acquire those certifications. The third one is the technology challenge, because in India we as one of the honored speaker from MEITY said that there are multiple technologies they're working on. So I would it would be a pleasure for me to interact with them and would understand which technologies they are working on, so that we can also refer those technologies to the coming entrepreneurs, and we can also optimize the output of the recycling recycling material, and might be we can be helpful for those entrepreneurs who want to set up their facilities, whether it's dismantling or recycling. So it would be a pleasure for us to interact, and definitely once we are over with this presentation, I'll definitely connect with with the concerned persons for the technology perspective, which is one of the biggest challenge which entrepreneurs are facing in India, technology, getting proper technology for the recycling facility. And then after that, once these challenges have been over, the fourth comes as then getting the clientele. So clientele is we need to create a framework where is in there must be some regulatory guidelines, because there are smaller recyclers also, and there are bigger recyclers also. So we need to give a kind of transparent opportunity for the smaller ones also, because if there are more and more smaller recyclers, the problem will get resolved very quickly. So appreciating those small entrepreneurs is again I can say government of India is also working too much into this particular area, and might be there would be some incentivized schemes which is not there as per my knowledge. So might be if there would be any schemes coming from the government of India, or might be some schemes from Central Pollution Control Board or Ministry of Environment and Forest. So those will appreciate the entrepreneurs to to have more confidence into this industry, because as we believe, like if we don't have recyclers, we can't resolve this problem. We talk about compliances, we talk about technologies, we talk about like many other things, but the ground reality is if we don't have recyclers, we can't eliminate this problem. So the biggest, which we believe as in Proxy Deities, which being a consulting company, we believe that more recyclers are very much important to get this problem sorted in a quick span of time. So how we are helping those organizations, like those entrepreneurs who want to set up their waste facilities. We help we are in connect with the DICs also. We are in connect with real estate companies also. We are in connect with governmental bodies also, whereas we help those entrepreneurs to acquire land area in industrial areas. Plus, apart from this, we also help them acquiring the licensing, all the regulatory licenses or permission which are required to run those facilities. So, and that too in a quick span of time, because we have an expertise into this particular field. So, we are not a PRO, or we are not a recycler. We are purely a legal, in IT enabled company. So, we help them with these sort of permissions, or these certifications which are required to be compliant with the governmental bodies, whether it's State Pollution Control Board, whether it's Central Pollution Control Board, or might be any other departments like fire department, factory, or MCD department. So we help them with the compliances part, one thing, and second, we also help them with the annual return parts. Like annual return is one of the major you can say attribute to understand how much waste we have recycled. So those details has to be submitted by the recycler or dismantler to state as well as the Central Pollution Control Board. So we help them with this particular consulting also, and we also help them with renewal of those certifications, with renewal of those permissions on a timely and efficient basis, because if some got delayed, there are huge penalties on that. So we make sure that these things will be in line, in place for those entrepreneurs who want to be into this particular industry, because we want to ease down the things for entrepreneurs, especially into waste management. Because as I already said, if we don't have better recyclers, we talk too much about circular economy, we can't achieve the target of circular economy if we don't have efficient and availability of too much of recyclers in Indian ecosystem. So this is the measure and which we focus aggressively right now. So apart from this, we also help those regulatory frameworks. Like we are in close in touch with MOEF for some sort of guidelines regarding e-waste. We are also in touch with Central Pollution Control Board. We're in discussion with them for a few guidelines, like which will be coming in, might be next final version of e-waste 2020 rule. So we are also part of those things also. And apart from this, like if we talk, so everybody has talked about e-waste, so I'll not drill down more into the e-waste, what e-waste is also about, how people are managing it. But yes, managing e-waste is one of the biggest I can say one is starting a facility and second is collecting the e-waste, which is again a problem for Indian ecosystem. So there must be some stronger, you can say, infrastructure involvement, and I would also recommend, like, that's just my personal thought, that if Government of India will come into picture and initially set up some role models, or you can say projects where they can showcase to the coming entrepreneurs that how they can set up the e-waste recycling plant, or might be plastic waste recycling plant. That would be a kind of help for the recyclers also. So now I request Mr. Ashish is also with me. He is handling, like, he's heading the compliance department for Proxy Deities Private Limited. So I would request Ashish to throw a bit of light on e-waste, and might be a few statements, or might be few things which I haven't discussed. Ashish, please.
Thank you so much for inviting us for this conclave. Taking words from Mr. Vipan, I'll be taking ahead that the e-waste facility is like many things are there. Even a person can open a collection unit, a person can open a dismantling unit, a person can straightly go ahead with the recycling unit. If he doesn't want to go with the complete infrastructure, he can go ahead with the recycling, like PRO facility. Even if he is having many infrastructures in 21 states, he can go ahead with the PRO facility. And if we talk about our experience of setting up the e-waste facility, many of the young entrepreneurs keep on asking us that what are the compliances that is required for setting up an e-waste facility. So we simply say to them that the pollution control board clearances are there. First of all, you have to take the establishment license, then you have to take the operation license, then you have to go ahead with the e-waste authorization. Okay, moving ahead, there are certain other factors like we have to ensure ourselves the safety of the unit as well as employee safety, that is the fire safety. Factory licenses are there, and the ISO compliances should be taken care to set up a unit which is globally recognized. Then we move ahead with the R2 certification that will help us on a global platform where we will be like competing with the big players in the market. So to shorten up, I will say that e-waste facility is there, but informal sector is being taking up the formal sector. I would suggest the informal sector to be compliant so that there is a level play field, which Mr. Pranshu was also mentioned from Tharo Sambhav, and Mr. Shiv was also saying that when he was starting, the compliances was a headache for him. So we take care of that thing so that an entrepreneur can think about the profitability in the market and how he can run his business.
So to talk, a bit of opportunities which we can see in this particular industry. So opportunities are limitless in e-waste. So anybody can set up a e-waste recycling plant. The opportunities are, as I said, endless. The waste which is getting generated in India, as we are number 3, we're coming as top 3 in creating e-waste, and very soon, as per the population we have, very soon will be hitting the number 1 as well. So the opportunity for e-waste entrepreneurs are very high. It's just like they have to follow some certain guidelines and rules and regulation as per the departments, like whether it's central pollution or whether it's state pollution, and they can set up their facilities as per the norms, so that they'll not be facing any trouble in future, and especially they'll not be harming the environment. So because this type of activity falls under the red category, and red category means the pollution level would be on a very higher side. So again, if they will be compliant, they will not be harming the environment, and again, if they're compliant, firstly they'll not be harming the environment, and secondly they'll be saving, they'll be helping trash to be removed from the system, and also might be they'll be helping in reducing down the landfills, because landfill is again not the solution to this problem. So we have seen people throw the e-waste into landfills. So landfill is not at all a solution to this problem. The solution to this problem is only recycling, or might be repair or refurbishment. but not landfill. So I would request, like, anybody, if you want to start, or any governmental board authorities, present within this form, I would request, like, if we can stop this landfilling, it will resolve a lot of problem for us, because landfill is not the solution. So opportunity, lots of opportunity. And yes, if anybody, like, take free consulting from us, how to set up a waste recycling plant, not e-waste, but might be plastic, or might be biomedical, or might be solid municipal waste, or might be hazardous waste, or might be construction and demolishing, will be more than happy, because our vision is to make to give birth to the recyclers. So as EPR says that, if one it gives to birth to electronic, has to recycle after the end of the life cycle of that product. So our vision is how to give birth to the recyclers, so to eliminate this problem from the Indian ecosystem, and might be later on to the world as well. So thank you so much. So this ends our a few words about the entrepreneurial problems and the opportunities entrepreneur can grab within this particular segment. So thank you so much, V. Krishnamurthy, for again giving us an opportunity to be a part of this forum, and sharing our views on the area of e-waste management. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vipan. And I want to ask one question to all the panelists. Adoption of circular economy in waste practices in small and medium-sized enterprises, with some evidence and success stories, can be shared to this August gathering, so that it will motivate entrepreneurs. This is one question. And the other question is with regard to skilling. What are the challenges, new challenges, when speaking of skilling in the area of e-waste clubbed with circular economy? First to Vipanji, then to Sharda and Dr. Dietrich, and then finally to Aarti.
Thanks for your question, Krishnamurthy. So the first one, like as you said, what are the skills? Second one, what are the skills required for entrepreneurs to acquire?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so the skills, like, as per our understanding, will not say that, these are the only skills which an entrepreneur required to be successful into e-waste management industry. But what we have found from last 7 years, that, one of the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs, not a challenge, but I would say opportunity for e-waste entrepreneurs are, like, they must go into this industry if they know the products, like, they have a fair idea about electronic industry, because procuring material is one of the biggest, you can say, a cost saving as well as cost loss for an entrepreneur. Because like, if they are collecting material and they're recycling it, if they don't know the material in depth, and what material to extract might be recovered from those electronics, if they don't have that understanding or idea, it would be a loss, might be to that entrepreneur, and also a loss, like, if we are losing gold, or might be silver, and not able to recover those elements from electronics, it would not be a loss to the entrepreneur, it would be a loss to the economy, it would be a loss to the whole world, because we'll be losing that gold, or might be silver, or platinum, or might be any other precious metal. So understanding about the electronic is very much important if someone want to be into this industry. Secondly, connectivity, like, if one has a proper compliance in place, then and only those PBOs will be in a position to agreement, or might be in a position to make contract with the recycler. So compliance is one of the major aspect which plays a very vital role. If one is compliant and having all the compliance clearances from various departments, then it would be easy for that entrepreneur to have an agreement with, might be we can say Apple, or might be we can say Google, or might be we can say IBM. So no one can refrain to not to have an agreement with a recycler if recycler is completely compliant with all the norms. So these are the two major, I can say, things. And third one is creating a team. So team is very much important in setting up a recycling facility, your team has to be well educated to understand, how to recycle the material. So as said, training your team is also very much important, because they, after having those trainings, they can be in a position to might be segregate the material in a proper way, might be recycle the material in a proper way. So these three things are very much important. And apart from this, one more thing is that is financial requirements. Yes, absolute, because if one want to be into this industry, the I can say the minimum or the medium investment one can expect is near about 35 lakh rupees. That is the minimum investment which one can put in, with a might be a capacity of 1 metric ton recycling per day, or 1.5 metric ton, which is the basic recycling capacity. So if one one want to plan into this e-waste industry, so financing again is very much important. But yes, the returns are very high in this industry. So recycling again, it's a gold mine. One can, if one can work efficiently, I don't think that anybody can be into losses into this industry. So coming back to the first question, the successful stories, yes, we do have multiple success stories as we consult multiple industry, entrepreneurs within the Pan India region. So we have success stories from Kerala. We have set up e-waste recycling plant from Kerala, and we also help them with, because we are also into extended producer responsibility, certification parts also. So we have more than 250 brands connected with Copseed for their EPR requirements. So we also help those recyclers, how we can connect those PBOs to the right recycler as per their capacity and as per their capability. And we also we have already set up lots of recycling facilities pan India, and the number are, might be, I can say, if I'm not wrong, it would be more than 20 facilities which Copseed has already set up pan India as a recycling facility. So yes, we have seen, and we haven't seen any complaints from those facilities which we have set up, that they are not in a position to run the business efficiently. So honestly telling, I haven't heard any of the recycler which we have set up coming up with us with complaints that I don't have work to do, I don't have finance to escalate my business. So everybody is efficiently working, and they're getting lots of they're into a profitability right now, and within a time span of 1.5 years. So achieving break even in a time span of 1.5 years is quite remarkable, you can say, industry. And as I already said, the potential in this industry is very high, because India has got the population of India is 1.4 you can say billion, which is a huge number. And the tech savvy, the people are nowadays, they want to use electronics in a frequent way. Like suppose if we take an example of mobile phones, so as per the standards, the average life of mobile phone is 3 years. But in India, if we can see that people can't use mobile phones for 1 year, or might be 1.5 years, they change it because models keeps on changing. So the electronics is getting generated in India in a very rapid speed. And as I said, so sources, what that is electronics. So e-waste industries would not, as per my understanding, and if they work in an efficient way, if they work hard, they will never be into losses.
Thank you, Vipanji.
I hope I answered this question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sharda, madam.
Yeah, sir, I would just say that what we were always hearing about, that there are 3-4 points which are very important. One is that implementation of legislation norms of Government of India, and secondly, standard setting, which I'm repeating it, and which was the whole day we were talking about the standard, and the skill development. Like I just came to know very shortly about your organization, what you're doing. Maybe we can just join hands in making the skill development to make. Other thing is awareness. The awareness is missing in our country, and also a lot of child labors are involved in it. This is what we have been getting to know about it. So these are the main challenges which we have to look into, and I'm sure as a team and future afterwards under the Quality Council of India, we will be able to make a standard and overcome all these challenges.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Aarti. Hello, Miss Aarti.
Sir, is it audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, one thing I would like to add to what Mr. Vipan has just said, that one can only innovate in the area of waste management once if he will understand the basic nature or the basic components of e-waste. So we at SRI have technology business incubator where entrepreneurs can come and understand the nature. They have e-waste with and in what area they can go to explore its utilization. As in my presentation, I have shown various products where entrepreneurs can definitely go and work in their industries. We can also explore many areas for other applications for the utilization of e-waste, but only after understanding the nature of e-waste. We can also organize various awareness programs and workshops for the entrepreneurs to update their knowledge about e-waste and its application areas. That's all from my side. Thank you.
So I'm sorry to add on one point here to Dr. Aarti. Dr. Aarti, I would love to interact with your organization, because as we are the pioneer in India for setup of e-waste plants. So I would love to understand what sort of learning your organization or your college will help us, so that we can might be divert few of the entrepreneurs who want to set up their e-waste industries, and might be they'll get sort of help from your end, and they'll understand that whether they are okay to proceed ahead with this industry, or they need to leave the plan to start with the e-waste management journey. So I would love to add collaborate in that particular part. So thank you so much, Krishnamurthy. It was a pleasure. If we have more question, happy to answer this once from the audience.
How can you help us in identifying skill gaps, especially in a co-working space environment?
So is it for me?
Yeah, it is for you.
Okay, so see, co-working is it's a new concept which is coming in the market right now. So co-working, if we talk about the e-waste industry co-working, so co-working is of different type. If we want to take into a service industry, it's a different one, and if we want to take into a manufacturing industry, it's a different one. But if we want to take into a waste management industry, it's again a different one. So co-working, yes, co-working is an opportunity for the collectors who want to initiate their process, who want to start with this industry with a very little amount of might be waste. But for a bigger one, it would be difficult because the cost would be on a higher side, I believe so. Because we haven't seen this model, the companies are coming up with this model, but haven't been implemented completely yet in Indian market. But as per my understanding, the cost for co-working would be on higher side. The cost, if they want to construct or might be rented a premises, would be on lower side as compared to the co-working. So that's my personal view. That's not something that taken from any sort of research. That's my personal view.
Okay, thank you so much. And one last final question: along with skilling, where can the government intervene to build a formal ecosystem for e-waste management?
So could you please come again? I just missed the first part.
Along with skilling, where can the government intervene to build a formal ecosystem for e-waste management?
So again, my personal views, not any sort of research based done on that part. So I believe initially when e-waste rule came into 2011, that was the first e-waste rule which Central Pollution Control Board drafted for Indian ecosystem. So there was there's been a change, like, there was 2011, then came into 2016, now in 2021. So definitely the material which was been added to the rules in 2011 is not into the rules of 2022, because again, it keeps on changing. So definitely the governance or might be policy making would be a very it would take a, play a very vital role here, because the market is getting changed every single year, might be every single even within a 6 months. So those regulations and policies from the governmental side is very much important to, you might be upgrade on a continuous interval, and plus, like, giving a bit of relaxation to the recycling point of view at an initial stage. So I would request the governmental departments, like, if they can give a kind of support to the recycling, because as per my understanding till date there isn't any support given by the central or state governments to this industry. So I would request the department might be the governmental authorities to give a relaxation or might be schemes to these particular entrepreneurs, so that they can be motivated to start their journey into waste management industry. Because if we can't motivate the entrepreneurs, if we can't generate the entrepreneurs into this industry, I would say that we will keep on talking the same thing, circular economy, but the result would not be there. So if we don't have recyclers, there would no be result in the system. So we have to motivate the recycler. We have to create more recyclers, and we have to, as some of the speakers have already told in past presentation, like we have to create an audit system also from the governmental perspective, that those governmental people can go to those recyclers and audit their structure and audit their their premises. And honestly, being a COPSID, we are open to the governmental bodies. If they want us to audit, we can absolutely do the audit, because we are we have the complete knowledge of those e-waste rules from 2011 till 2022. So we can also help governmental bodies to shake hand with us, and might be will do the audits. The motto is not here to have a strong compliance. The motto here is to eliminate the problem with environmental sound facility. So that is the motto which we in COPSID believe, that the motto is to remove the trash. The motto is to be a beautiful country to live. Not might be putting regulation or might be putting that things. So motto is to be safe and healthy, to live for longer life, and might be our generation will not suffer what we have done right now. So that is the motto. We have to eliminate the trash. That is the motto what we believe in here. That's not that's the again personal view. So I
Anybody?
hope I answered your question.
You answered. Anybody? The other panelists, please. Anybody want to comment on, add on? That's all from me. Thank you, Vipan. Thank you, Sharda. Thank you, Dr. Dietrich. Thank you, Aarti. Over to you, Indra. Over to you.
Thank you,
Indra.
Thank you, Krishnamurthy sir, for moderating this session so well, and taking the perspectives of all these speakers. On behalf of NABET QCI, we'd like to thank all the speakers right from the beginning, from the session 1. Mr. C.K. Biswas, CEO NABET, CEO NBQP, and his team, Ms. Pooja Shukla, Himali, and Ashish Gupta. From the TCP group, Mr. Alok Jain, Dr. Harveen for putting this entire VQC together, the entire media team, Sanjay and his team, the IT team, Mr. Karan, and all the participants who have joined together. We'd like to thank all of you and all the speakers of today's session to do such